What is going on? I'm using on this tank. So for me, looking for this small water change pump, we have our lovely camera woman, and that's it. What is going on, my reefing fan? March here. This is Fragbox TV. Okay, today we're going to do our very first water change on our Reef Casa, our studio tank. Studio XL. This is actually the largest one we offer. Go check it out, reefcasa.com, if you're looking for a really cool all-in-one reef aquarium. Okay. Oh, surprise guest appearance by the dog. Hello. And we also have Lizard Lady here quietly in the background. This is my tank at home, my own personal little tank. And why are we doing a water change? Why do we do water changes in the first place? So how can I explain this in the most simplest terms? I like to think of a tank like this almost as if it is a toilet. And now, why do I call it a toilet? Because we have our lovely little fishy friends here. Hello, Kotiri Ras. I think that's your name. Oh, he's usually not so shy. He will eat, and we all know that after you eat, you have to go do your business. Number 2. And this is what we call a closed system. So all of his waste is going to be collecting here inside the tank, all of its excrements, and those are going to build up in the form of nitrates. So how are we going to lower the nitrates in the tank? Ta-da! With our water change. It also serves the purpose of replenishing all of our nutrients, so our calcium, our alkalinity, our magnesium. These levels are all getting depleted by the corals in the tank as they grow. They use them to create the skeletal structure. As well, it's going to replace all the minor trace elements, things like strontium, potassium, iodine. All of these are actually here in our salt. Using on this tank, it's from two little fishies, Julian Sprung's Accuracy 1. I think this is one of the best synthetic salts on the market. It's really inexpensive, and my favorite part is the convenience. This is already pre-measured for a 5-gallon bucket. So all you need to do a water change is boom, this bucket, and pop one of those right inside. So for me, the key to success with keeping one of these long-term really is the water change. Now, you can keep a tank like this without doing water change. You could do testing and dosing, but I think one of the easiest ways to keep it thriving and long-term success is simply doing a water change. So we're taking out the bad, we're taking out all the stuff that's been building up in the water, and then we're changing it with nice, new, fresh salt water. Well, not fresh water, but a nice, clean batch of salt water. And that's the idea behind the water change. But we also want to do it properly because we're going to be adding 5 gallons. We don't want to shock the system. Typically, we say do about, I would say, it's a rough rule, but maybe like 20% every 2 weeks. Some people do less. Some people do more. Some people will do maybe a 5-gallon bucket once a week. This is the first one we're doing in, it's been 4 months. I don't know if I've ever kept a tank that's been easier than this. It's so hands-off, it's so low maintenance. Having one fish probably helps. Actually, I think there's also a lot more blending. If you have more fish, then you have more food, then you have more waste, then you're going to be doing water change. Some people keep no fish in the tank. They keep just corals, and then you really don't have to change it as often. So when I'm talking about shocking the system, we want our water to be very close in terms of temperature and salinity to the water that's in there. So what I have here in my little bucket is a heater. Hello, dog. You're interested in water changes? We have a little pump and a little heater. So we want the salt fully dissolved. I've had this mixing now for a day, and we want the temperature of this water to match the temperature in there because we don't want to add undissolved salt, and we don't want to add really cold salt water because we don't want to shock the corals and the animals that are in the tank. Now, we're going to need another bucket. We're going to need a hose to get the water out. So this is one part that I think doesn't really get discussed so much in the hobby, is how much kind of space and room things like this take up. So, you know, we have our beautiful tank and our light and our stand and all our little gadgets and stuff contained underneath. But there's really, there's more space required than that. And that's one of the things that's always drawn me to nano tanks. You know, things like around this size, 25 gallons, is water change is really practical. It's really easy. All I got to do is change 5 gallons. If I wasn't talking on camera, this would probably take me 5 minutes, maybe less. Once you get into larger systems, 40, 50, 100, 150 gallon, 250, 300, you can imagine we got to change 30 or 40 gallons as a percentage of that tank. That's a lot of buckets. Or we get into saltwater mixing stations. So you would literally take a room in your house. I don't have any room. I live in a very small house. I don't know where I would do it. This is behind the scenes access, March's disgusting laundry room. But you would have 2 barrels with a saltwater, with a pump. And then the pump would actually feed over to the tank. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're maybe watching this and want to go with a bigger tank. You need quite a bit of space, and it does become quite laborious and pain in the butt to do large water changes. Oh my God, he's out. I haven't seen this guy in a long time. We do have a lawnmower Blenny. He's made a very special cameo YouTube appearance. Let me see if I can just kind of zoom in on him. Right there, center of your screen before he darts off. He's very, very shy, and he's gone. Oh, he's still there. Okay, so step one, I'm gonna turn off the return pump. I'm gonna turn off the wave maker, and I'm gonna turn off my auto top off. I'm gonna turn all those things off, anything that controls the water level, and then I can begin to take the water out of the tank. Looking for this small water change pump. We also have them available. They're 10 bucks. This is like $4 or $5. Yeah, really good. This nifty little power bar also makes things really easy. It's the Reef Casa Power Hub. It's got these little blue indicator lights, and each individual switch has a button. They're only 20 bucks for the power bar, and boom, you can turn off your stuff really, really easy without having to shock yourself, you know, wet hands trying to go in and out. We have our lovely camera woman now. We're gonna give it over to Lizard Lady so that I can do the water change. Right there, you see, hold it. Don't play with the zoom.
Okay.
Leave it alone. Okay, you got it. It's nice and steady. So, with the power of gravity and our trusty hose, any hose will work. We love them hoses.
Family friendly.
I think I'm funny. Okay, I said hoses. Okay, so one side in, and then just like that. Mouthful of salt water. Delicious. If we set a timer now, we can see how long it takes me to do water change. We do have a cool product called the Floor Saver. It's made to go around your stand. It's just a towel, but it's cut perfectly for your stand so that you don't ruin your floors the way I just did. And many times you've heard me say on the channel, do as I do. Don't do as I say. So
No, opposite.
do as I say, don't do as I do. That's it. Yeah, do as I say, don't do as I do. I like to show you how not to do things. So there's our 5 gallons, roughly. And if your corals come out of the water for a little bit, it's fine. 10, 20 minutes, half an hour. Low tide in the ocean, sometimes they're out for a day. They're gonna be fine. So don't worry, you don't have to move fast and make a mess like I do. So this has been mixing already for a day. Temperature is good, it's nice and matched. Now when I pour it into the tank, I usually like to pour it like over my hand if I can, or over a rock, because I don't want to disturb the sand. I don't want to make a big sandstorm that has to settle. So you know what you could also do, I just thought of, with that same pump and a little hose, you could pump the water back up into the tank. If you're not able maybe to lift 50 pounds of water, it is quite heavy, and you don't want to make a mess. Same hose with a little pump, and you can send it right back into the tank. Actually, maybe can I do that? No, I don't have an adapter. I'm gonna do it like this. Do as I say, don't do as I do. Remember, I'm gonna get a shirt made one day that says that. Okay. Just gently pour, and I like to pour like over my hand if I can, so that I don't send the sand everywhere. And the corals will probably close for the rest of today. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. It just means that they're getting used to the new water. And that's about it. Cut! And that's it. The water change is done. We've done our chore. If you get into the, I find like really long-term success is just get into the habit of doing it. Set a schedule. If it's once a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever you're able to do, whatever you can manage. The tank, you just have a lot more long-term success after visiting so many different nice systems and setups all over the world. The one that really comes to mind is Tidal Gardens. We're gonna go check them out again at the end of August. Oh no, beginning of August this year. And he's a firm believer in water change. So if there's anyone to listen to, anyone to aspire to be like, it is that guy. And I know it's a huge commercial setting and it doesn't really relate to something, you know, so small, but the concept and the idea is still there. Water change for me definitely gets a thumbs up. This is how you do it. I hope you guys found it useful. Ras is now hiding, and I hope to see you back here on the next episode of Fragbox TV. If you want to see another tutorial kind of like this, but topic that you guys choose, just comment below, and I'd be happy to pick up the camera and do one for you. And that's it. We'll see you back here hopefully on the next episode of Fragbox TV. Bye for now. Do your water changes.